Welcome back. Today we are going to look at how I turned this rough piece into this very nice polished cabochon without using any machines. Let's start with the unboxing. I bought this piece from a Dutch website called Spiritual Garden. Very nice box it comes in. I'm really liking this design. Let's open it up. And it is a wonderful, very nice looking piece. Look at this. Very nice. Already has a nice texture. Sort of square-ish shape. Definitely lots of holes and little craters on the side that we have to take out. But yeah, I'm really liking this shape. Very nice. You can see the kind of design I am trying to go for. Like a sort of squarish kind of cabochon. This will be the back. I will not polish the back. I'll leave this rough. This gives a very nice looking effect. Very nice piece. Now I'm inspecting it to see if it has any kind of internal large cracks. But as you can see, this piece is very clean. Very nice. Really like this nice green color. Absolutely no cracks here on the side. Let's test this side. Also no cracks here on this side. Very clean, very nice. Yeah. Let's check the receipt. 3.58 gram exactly. Let's make sure my scale is calibrated. There you go. Nicely calibrated scale. And now let's try the moldavite. Yes, exactly 3.58 gram. What a nice piece. Always good idea to check all the sides if you're weighing a piece. Also checking the back. Exactly 3.58 gram. What a nice piece. I also quickly looked at all the measurements to see if they were nice, and they absolutely were, and then especially the thickness at 6 mm. This was very important for me because any thinner than this and trying to make a cabochon by hand is going to be impossible. So one final look at the rough moldavite. This is the back. This will be the polished front side. Really just this crater here underneath my thumb has to go. And then we can see a very nice shape. Very nice. Now it's time to go outside and start grinding on this nice piece of moldavite, starting with this edge over here. I'm using 80 grit waterproof sandpaper, and the blue stone is a knife sharpening stone. It's a 400 grit stone. I use this a lot when flattening out the underside of opals, especially Ethiopian yellow opals. It's a very useful tool, very cheap. Works great. And I use the sandpaper on top of the sanding stone to keep it nice and smooth and straight. Just keep grinding it away, nice and easy. Take your time. Really doing this nice and slowly. This is just the pre-shape before dopping the stone. Really working on all the sides right now. Also, it might seem a little strange to use 80 grit sandpaper at this early stage and the 400 grit grinding stone, but the sandpaper wears down very quickly, so in terms of removing material, I'd say they do about the same job. You can just push a little harder on the actual grinding stone, and you have to go a little slower with the actual sandpaper, but it allows you to make really nice curves already now at the beginning of making the edges. As you can see, the sides are starting to become very nice and straight, and I've already been able to remove quite a lot of material. It's looking very nice. This is after just about 25 minutes of working. Now, with a fresh piece of 80 grit paper on top of the sanding block, I'm also starting to grind away at the top of the stone. One thing that I have not yet mentioned is the reason I am using water. It's not so much for the heat of the stone, but it is to prevent a very tiny moldavite dust from entering your lungs. Just better be safe than sorry, and I'm sure it also helps with making everything very nice and smooth. Making some very nice progress at all four sides and the top of the moldavite stone. At this point, the stone pre-shaping is all done. It looks totally scratched right now, but this is because the 400 grit does not do a very nice polishing job. You can see still lots of little craters that I have to work out, some in the center, some on the sides. But the shape is already nice. Let's weigh the stone and see how much material I had removed. Still 2.92 grams, so not that much material had to be removed for this stage. And now we are ready to dop the stone. As you can see, the back is still all nice and rough with a very nice texture. Nothing is broken, it's real nice. And to dop the stone, I use this small bamboo stick. It is just the right size and I can easily glue it in the center. And I will show you also a way to easily remove the dopstick. So this is a very cheap super glue. It's from a Dutch store called Action. It's 11 cents per bottle. It works great. Just open the bottle and place a little drop on some cardboard. Then rub the stick, make sure it has enough glue and hold it in the center for a couple of minutes. You can usually tell when the stick wants to stay upright without you having to touch it, and then it's done. you can see I can carefully remove my hand. And after this, even though it's 1 second glue, probably best to just leave it a couple of hours and make sure that the connection is very strong. The last thing that you want is during the grinding process now for the stone to fly off. So as you can see, the connection is about as centered as I could get it. And it's a very strong connection when you use super glue like this. There is still quite a lot of work to do now, rounding off the edges, making sure the top has a nice dome, removing those larger craters in the center and as much as possible on the side. But with Moldavite, the thing that's important is there are always going to be bubbles and some kind of, you know, little cracks. It's almost impossible to get it perfectly smooth, so never let perfect be the enemy of good, you know. Just work on it very you know, nice at your own pace. And now with a stone dopped, you can do all sorts of maneuvers that you cannot really do using your hands, because otherwise you would grind into your fingers. So with the stone now you can put on a lot of pressure. The super glue that I use, again, it's only 11 cents per bottle, so it's really cheap super glue, but it holds on absolutely perfect, no problem at all. The stone has never come off. I've used it super glue many times with opal and it works absolutely great. So now I'm using 150 grit, and this is the final grit that I use for actually shaping. Every other grit that comes after this will only be used to remove scratches from the previous grit. So this is the last grit for actually shaping the moldavite. Here I am now using 600 grit sandpaper to remove all the scratches from the grinding block, and I'm also using this on top of a 3 or 4 layer thick towel to help it go nice and smooth, and this also will allow me to help rounding off the edges. After working my way through the 600 grit, it's now time for 800. We are making some real progress right now, and this is 1000 grit. This might seem like it's a lot of work to do, and yes, it does take quite a couple of hours, but it's absolutely worth doing. It's kind of relaxing in its own way. So now 1500 grit, and this is already making the stone very smooth. The edges are already looking nice and kind of rounded off. So let's do a lot more work on the 1500 grit. Now only 2 more grits to go. This is the 3000, and after this I will do a couple more minutes of grinding on 10,000. Now the stone is ready to get the final polish and make it really crystal clear and mirror shiny, because right now the 10,000 still leaves some small scratches. You could go like 20,000 and 30,000 grit, but I really like cerium oxide for the final polish. So this is an old but very tough piece of leather, and I add a little bit of water to the leather. With some water already on the leather makes the next progress a little bit easier. When you're working with cerium oxide, you have to be a little bit careful. You really do not want to breathe this in, very bad for your lungs. Also make sure not to get this inside of your eyes. Just carefully open the container. And the amount of cerium oxide powder that I used was a little bit more than half of a teaspoon. This worked out very nice for this stone. Just add it on top of the water, on top of the leather. Then make sure to close this very tightly and place it away. And then we are going to use the stone to, with a little bit of water, we are going to make a paste, like a paint, like a paste from the cerium oxide. And with the final polishing step, you really want to take your time, do it slowly. Initially you can start off kind of hard pressing against the leather. And what I recommend you to do is do it for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then you clean the stone, you dry the stone, you take a look, and you continue in cycles of 2 or 3 minutes. In total, I had to repeat this about 9, maybe 10 times, so the total polishing with cerium oxide took me 20 minutes. Now to remove the stone from the dopping stick, I'm going to use isopropyl alcohol and just submerge the stone in a little layer of alcohol. And because I really do not like the smell, I placed it outside for about 5 hours. After 5 hours, it just pops right off very clean. So now let's test the scale one more time. Nicely calibrated scale once again, and let's check the final result. Still 2.64 gram are left. This is such a nice stone. I really cannot believe this result. Look at this back, amazing texture, absolutely amazing texture. And look at this polish. This polish is fantastic. It's absolutely crystal clear. I really love to see these bubbles inside, you know, 15 million year old bubbles inside this stone. Just absolutely amazing. Such an awesome stone, Moldavite. Just look at the finish, it is absolutely incredible. And then to think this was all done by hand in just about 4.5 hours. In total about 4 hours 20 minutes, which is kind of ironic because Moldavite always reminds me of something else 420, but you know, look at this stone. I'm so incredibly happy that I did this. This was something I wanted to try for a long time, but I didn't really know if it was worth my time, and because Moldavite is pretty expensive, but this turned out absolutely amazing. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I try to make it as enjoyable as possible with all the background music and trying to cut it down to a somewhat coherent 24-ish minute video. Just look how shiny this is. Wow, what a nice stone. Again, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and please like if you want to see absolutely more amazing Moldavite content. Goodbye.